Hey guys, my name is VideoJames, and we're back with another anime review. Before I start this video, I want to say I'm going to be doing a mass exodus of my anime reviews, and the main reason for this is I went back and I watched a couple of them because I wanted to see how I did them, and I realized that the quality of the review of which I had done, I wasn't happy with. I honestly am not happy with the quality of the review I used to do, so I'm gonna go back. I'm going to carefully observe which ones I actually want to keep and which ones I actually want to get rid of, although it will probably be most of them will be getting rid of anyway, and I'm going to see which ones I need to remake and which ones I can keep around for a while. And this is going to be technically made the first anime review on the channel. It'll be labeled as the first, but you guys will know it won't have been the first. So to kick off this exodus, we are starting with an anime, and I cannot make this up if I tried, called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Never did I think those words would leave my mouth. So this anime is based on the light novel series by Hajime Kamoshida, and it's actually becoming a very popular show very quickly through its mastery of the tactic of bringing people in for the plot and keeping people around for the plot. And yeah, this show is actually getting quite a large amount of popularity, and people are actually really enjoying it. In fact, it's actually being called one of the best anime of 2018, and it's actually getting a movie very soon. Like, a lot of people have been waiting for a season 2 of this, and they don't have to wait long, because there's actually a movie being made of this, like, in progress. So this anime follows a guy called Sakuta Azusagawa. I always slow down my brain when I say that name, because I know I'm going to screw it up, because it's a Z and an S so close together. And he is basically a high schooler who a lot of people believe to have sent 3 kids to a hospital, so he's a pretty lonely guy. No one really hangs out with him, except for about 2 people. And then one day he sees a girl named Mai Sakurajima, who used to be a big movie star, big kind of everywhere on TV and in a bunch of movies in this universe, walking around the library. Well, I mean, you can probably guess it from the name of the anime, wearing a bunny suit. And it turns out the reason she's doing this is because apparently she's disappearing from people's vision, technically. Although it's more like she's kind of fading out of existence from certain people slowly. And it's kind of just like the Thanos snap. Like, instead of instantaneous, it's just slowly disintegrating her over time. So it's kind of determined that this might have been caused by something called adolescent syndrome, which is basically what the show is about. Like, all of its arcs focus on one kind of adolescent syndrome or another. And since he's dealt with it, Sakuta actually decides to help Mai, and they end up becoming pretty close. So, right away, I just gotta say, the dialogue in this show is absolutely perfect. It's funny, it's serious, it's never too much information or too little information, and it perfectly captures the character that's saying it. And not only does it perfectly capture that character and what kind of person they are, but it also perfectly captures the mood of the scene as well. And that's something that makes dialogue really great, is when it flows with not only its creator, but also the world around it. And what's even better is, throughout most of the show, the dialogue is almost always really calm. Like, there's almost never really any high-energy dialogue, except from the little sister, Kaide. And not only is the dialogue amazing, but the plot is actually very amazing, too. So, this is an anime that kind of does what Neptunia does, and does what kind of Konosuba did, and what Kill la Kill did, and like what a bunch of other anime did, and it splits itself up into arcs. And I believe there's about 5 arcs in total for the first season of this show. There's the first one that lasts about 4 episodes, there's the next one which lasts about 2, and then there's another one that lasts about 2, and then again another one that lasts about 2, and then one that lasts about 3. So yeah, there's about 5 in total, considering it's a 13 episode show. And the plot throughout all of it is a very amazing plot. Like, it's actually something that really is just amazing. And most of the time with clickbaity titles, the plot isn't really what keeps people around. I mean, the plot is what keeps people around, but a lot of the times it's not really the plot that is what drags people into the show. But here, with the plot, you actually get sucked in. You want to know what happens. You want to know what happens to the characters, what happens to the world, what ends up being the end for the episode, and what continues to go on. And this show does that not only through a mastery of storytelling and cliffhangerism, but it just does it, and the way the plot is written, it does it in a way that entraps you. It makes you want to know more, and it just does it spectacularly. Another great thing about the plot is you never die of boredom. Like, it's never the same thing. It's, whenever you go into a new arc, there's always some new kind of thing that's happening. And that's in part because every arc deals with a different kind of adolescent syndrome. And it's unique to each character. It's never like it's the same one for each character. Like, for example, Mai's is fading out of existence, and spoilers for any of you who haven't seen the last few episodes, Kaide's involves a bit of amnesia. And it just works really well because the arc can focus on that specific character, so you don't have to really include any other characters as much, and you can just focus on that one character, and that really makes the storytelling flow, because you don't have to add all this extra stuff. You don't have to add all this mumbo-jumbo that doesn't really involve what's actually going on at that moment, and you can just focus on this one thing and let it roll from there, and it actually does do that, and it does it very well. And then we have what is probably one of the most memorable things about this show, the soundtrack. Like, everybody loved the soundtrack for this show when it came out, and apart from myself, a lot of people actually liked the opening a lot, and found themselves actually listening to the opening every time they watched an episode of the show. Now, for me, I don't really like the opening because of the way the show is, because, like, the show's a more calm kind of thing. It's never really, like, that high energy kind of excitement that the intro is. Like, the intro is really fast and really excited, but the regular show, like, the actual part of it, is, like, more down-to-earth and calm and slow rolling. And honestly, I kind of like the way that the ending flows with it a little bit more than the opening does. But I can still see where people come from when they say it's a good opening, because it is a good opening. And then lastly, I gotta say, the design for this show, absolutely amazing. Like, the art style and everything is just top-notch. Especially with how, like, there's so much detail in the world. Like, there's so much detail and just absolute attention paid to everything in this show that it's like there's such a level of dedication. You can see it in the artwork. And the lighting effects that they do in this show, too, are actually very pleasing to look at. Like, the lighting effects are never like, oh, there's like this one single glare that's kind of just like making a line, or this light shouldn't really be shining like that. No, all the light actually looks very good, and it does really complement a lot of the stuff, including the color choices that you use. Because typically in this show, there's like a choice of quite a few bright colors, I should say. There's quite a few choices of brightness in terms of color in this show, apart from hair color. It's upon just now realizing this, but I just realized there's only like one person. No, there's two people, but there's only like two people in this show with really bright hair, and everyone else just kind of has like black or brown or kind of faded out hair. But anyway, giving this show a rating, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. It is an absolute must-watch, and I honestly can't wait for the movie. I really am going to see that. That and the Konosuba movie when that comes out. Yeah, this show is emotionally pleasing, it's immersive, it's astounding both visually, audibly, and mentally, that it doesn't cause you to think too much, and it doesn't try and overload you in the brain, and it's just an amazing show that is honestly well worth a good watch. And with that, I'm going to leave this anime review here. As always, link in the description to the show if you guys want to check it out. All episodes are actually on Crunchyroll right now, and they're all, like, actually up for everyone to see. Episode 13 just aired for everyone last Wednesday, and you don't even need an account to watch it, so you can just go to Crunchyroll and watch all this stuff, and honestly, I would very much encourage everyone to watch this, because this is an amazing show, and absolute power to the man and people who created this. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can slap that like button as always, and I'll see all you beautiful people in the next video.